Hey, this is Dave Landau, and you're watching CMS TV.
It is Chris Akin Presents, and I, of course, am Chris Akin. And today on the show, we're surprisingly not going to be talking heavy metal. We're going to be talking comedy. We're going to be talking news. We're going to be talking with one of my favorite guys in the world, the great Dave Landau. Dave, how are you, man?
Good, Chris. How about you?
I am good, man. I'm anxiously awaiting 6 o'clock to get here so I can see more episodes of the new show, STU and Dave to America. I mean, what else would anybody be doing at 6 o'clock on any day of the week?
That's what at least 10 to 20,000 people will do. That's what I'm guessing.
And that's a tiny number at this point. I want to start there, dude. Obviously, man, this is the third or fourth time you've sort of had to reinvent. You know, obviously joining Cumia and then going to Crowder and then Normal World and now this. I'm a creature of habit type of a person, and I hate when I have to start something over again. I cannot imagine the last 10 years you've had where it's like you get to a place and then it's all right, let's start the race again. And then you get to a place and then again. So talk about that, man. Has it been frustrating or is it exciting or where is that for you?
Well, it was my own fault. I left Crowder and Cumia on my own accord. I mean, I knew Ann's show was going to go eventually because of he was going to South Carolina and whatever. So that's kind of why I left. But you know, you regret things in life. But then after that, obviously, I went to Crowder. Things happened there. Then Normal World happened, and Normal World actually was successful.
Sure.
It was just canceled, and then it turned out it was successful, so I got invited back, which is neat. So at least I have that. QB is a little too busy with his own show and his own life to do it still. Angela was invited, but she's kind of just doing sketches with us right now, which is cool. I really like having her. But yeah, for me, it is difficult because I moved to Texas to do Crowder, and I feel like I've been kind of stuck here. But honestly, this show has been really cool. I didn't know Stu that well. I'd done a few shows with them, and it's kind of fun. It's sort of this straight man, and I say whatever's terrible, and I'm starting to pull that out of him.
Right.
And he's, it's a fun give and take. The crowd seems to like it. He's very good at getting out news or things that people actually need to hear, and I'm good at interrupting it and making it kind of a train wreck, which makes it fun. But it's good for real conversation. And, I feel like I'm lucky, but I do just want to have something that sticks. So
Right.
whatever that might be, that will be exciting because I just wanted a sketch show.
Sure.
And I went to every show, the last 3 shows, 4 sketches, and they kind of didn't work out. So, I mean, it did and it didn't. I can't say that they didn't work out. It's kind of cool being able to do what I did. But yeah, it is a constant rebuilding. And I'm excited about it. But yes, it's frustrating.
Sure.
I should have just said yes. That would have been way easier.
Oh, we got to fill time somehow, right?
I know, right? I got to meander a bit.
Well, dude, let's talk about Stu and Dave Do America. For people that have not watched it yet, you can sign up over at Blaze, and that's probably the best way to get it because you get a bunch of extras, which we'll talk about a little later. But
Cool.
you can, if you're not signed up for it, you can still get it every day on YouTube. It's there for watching, but it's a very different show for you. For you, it's kind of almost going from being the lead to being the funny guy, I guess, being the supporting character. Talk a little bit about that, man. And is that comfortable for you to play that role again, or do you miss being the lead? Or
no, I don't miss it at all. I don't mind being the supporting character. It worked very well on Cumia's show. It worked on Crowder's show. On Normal World, I wanted there to be sort of somebody to pull in the news a little more. Neither me or QB really wanted to necessarily do it, but it was kind of what people liked about it. Was it just became a conversation you kind of threw in whatever you wanted to talk about, and it wasn't necessarily specifically about news. This show, I have more say than people probably realize watching it, about topics and things to discuss, especially. But yeah, I do like just being the funny guy and the guy on the side who gets to say stuff. It's a lot easier to just show up and make comments than having to write the whole show, make sure everything's running, try to book guests, put everything together. It's nice that it's not my baby like Normal World was, but it became so many different things that it was hard to operate at times because you kind of didn't know who it belonged to. And I wish, I mean, not to give anything out, like it was really fun and it was really cool to do, but it was a level of stress that I don't really want to relive.
Sure. Well, the one thing as a fan that's been watching both shows, the one thing that I think I'm guessing is a lot easier for you and for Stu is that this show is not guest driven, where, Normal World, even though a lot of it was comics and dopes like me or whatever that would come on to it, it was kind of guest driven, where that would be kind of your focus, would be working in a guest or working in somebody. Now it's all on you two guys, and you guys really have to deliver and have had to find a chemistry fairly quickly.
We do, and since it airs on actual, TV, and then it airs on YouTube, and then it all, we have to work in the confines of that, which I think is fun. I think it's fun to kind of say something terrible without actually saying it. Kind of the workarounds have always been amusing to me. But yeah, it's not guest driven. We're lucky to have on the guests we do. We'll have people on Zoom more. We'll have comics in when they're in town. We're trying to do more of it, but yeah, it's not guest driven. And that does give us something. It gives us a little more of a dynamic. And when I was on Anthony's show, we kind of had that where we would have a lot of guests, but we didn't want them after a while. And it just became where we wanted to show up and just do the show. And those were our favorite episodes. We're just showing up, doing the show, having fun, calling it a day and leaving. It just made it much more easy than trying to figure someone else out who's in the room. Like, obviously, if McClowry comes in, it's completely different. It's right. We all know him. It's fine. It's quick. It's fun. It's better than it's going to be if it's just us. But, yeah, it's cool. But even if we have somebody on, they're on for a break, which is kind of nice. So you just do the interview and go. So it's easy. It's easier that way, I think. We'll see. We'll see if the fans respond. Some people really don't like change and some people love it. So hopefully the people that love it stick around. Sure. And the people who don't, I don't know. I don't really care.
there's a zillion other podcasts that they can watch.
Go to it. Make your own. Everyone else has.
Exactly. Well, man, I'm going to be honest. I don't know a whole lot about Stu. And I mean, me and you have texted back and forth and I've grabbed little pieces here and there. But tell me about...
Deeply closeted. But other than that, good man.
Well, that sort of leads into my question is, how serious is he? How put off is he by some of your humor, which is really dark? I mean, do you find yourself really surprising him show after show?
No, dude, that guy knows comedy. I mean, his favorite sketch show was Mr. Show. We talk about all kinds of old comedy. He was the second mic on Glenn Beck's show for years. So he was the levity and the grounding in the room to Glenn, which is not easy to do.
Sure.
You have a guy who's very fire and brimstone, and then you have another person who brings it down to earth. And that's not an easy task. Nothing against Glenn, but it's a difficult thing to do when something's so passionate, I guess. And Stu was able to do that. Stu's not put off by anything, honestly. He's very, very good humored. He gets everything that I do, and it's really kind of fun to see if I can catch him off guard. Right. And honestly, he's starting to catch me off guard a few times, which you'll actually see in tonight's episode.
Very good. Well, is that was kind of one of my questions too for you, is when you're doing a show with a person like that's fairly new to yourself as well. I mean, did it take a little while for you to kind of, like, did you throw softballs before you started throwing hard balls in the first 2 or 3 episodes just to kind of get a better read on who you were working with?
Yeah, there's kind of that point where you do throw softballs a few times. I had done enough like TV and radio with him to where I knew him, but I didn't know exactly what his line was. Then you start throwing hard balls that are almost too much for you.
Right.
And then you got to realize where to pull it back and find the happy medium. Because you still want to keep sponsors. Mm-hmm. So it's hard to have everything be an extremely dark joke or extremely offensive or just no compassion whatsoever. When you actually have some, but I think if everything's met with, I don't know, levity and a bit of, how can I word it? If what I'm talking about comes from a knowing place and you can tell I'm kidding, which gets harder and harder to do, I think, when people deliberately want to misunderstand you. Mm-hmm. But I think the people that know me know where I'm coming from. And I think once they get the dynamic more and more, the show will grow.
Sure. For you moving forward with this show and kind of like we said at the beginning, starting over a little bit, your first job, I'm assuming, is still comedy. I'm assuming that is job number one. Every time you do this start over, you have to rebuild the audience, which kind of, in my mind, I think makes you have to rebuild the touring audience and the comedic audience, if for no other reason than they're not watching you every day until they come on again. How has that been for you? New show starts. Is the audience still there?
It's hard, man. I mean, you have people that come out no matter where I'm at, wherever I go. You have people that come out in normal world stuff. Last week, I had people in the crowd wearing Cumia shirts, wearing my Ahoy shirt from Crowder, wearing a normal world shirt. I mean, you have people that come out from Gutfeld. You have people that come out from all these different places. But yeah, it's hard when you're not on one thing all the time. And where they watch you on one thing all the time, every day. And that's where I just want to be in that place where they always see me. And yeah, you do have to rebuild because people, I don't think it's that they forget, but there's so much content and there's so much stuff out there that one day you'll post a clip and then you'll see a comment like, oh, where is this dude going to be? I forgot about this guy. So I guess they do forget. But you do have to rebuild it because it's like I've gone from selling out theaters and arenas to doing 300 seat rooms, doing 100 seat rooms, back up to 250, back up to 150. It's all up and down. Like my career has been this for the last 8 years of just up and down, up and down. I mean, COVID obviously too, but
sure.
It's been a very interesting last 8 years that has played with my mind.
Right on. What do you think about comedy today, man? And before you answer, I'm gonna give my opinion, and then you tell me that I'm full of shit or not. Mm-hmm. But I think right now all of the good comedy is a little bit more underground. Like, and I'm not saying this to be mean or nasty or anything, but I'm not feeling Tony Hinchcliffe, who I know you've done.
Kill Tony,
Kill Tony.
Couple times,
I know, and I know it's huge. And that being said, it's not for me. That's just, everybody's a little bit different.
Of course.
It seems like there's like a rush away from, I don't know, harder hitting, or not that he doesn't go harder hitting, but he's playing toward the corporate. He's definitely looking for that WrestleMania crowd instead of the real underground. Like, I went and saw you. When did I see you last? 2 months ago or a month ago or whatever it was?
Probably.
When there's the Funny Stop closed.
Funny Stop was closing. Yeah. I did their last show. Yeah. One of their last shows.
So 2 months ago, and you brought a whole new set that I know you can't bring to Blaze, but so that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that the funnier stuff has kind of found its place in the underground, and maybe a lot of that had to do with the cancel culture and shit for the last 10 years. But do you think it's that way, or do you think it's emerging again? Where do you find it as somebody that's out there doing it?
Oh, I think it's the most oversaturated it's ever been. I've never seen so much comedy available in my life, and I think it's bad when a third of the country is doing what you're doing, and then 2/3 of it think they can do what you're doing.
Right.
It kind of takes that out of it. But I mean, I'm talking to somebody who's been in radio, so I can only imagine how those people have felt for the last decade.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, part of why comics got into that, it's the same reason why they talk about comics getting into politics. They say, well, okay, what, you, all of a sudden you're all history majors? Like, well, no, they just told us we couldn't perform and we had to find out why and make criticisms on it. And I happened to be on Anthony's show at that time, so I was doing that before the pandemic. But like with Tony, I think what it comes down to is that literally is, shouldn't say literally, but I mean, he is Vince McMahon, and that is bringing out people, and that is bringing out this kind of 1 minute massive thing that works very, very well for what it is. And I'm very happy to have done his show. But part of it, I think a lot of, in some of the storytelling, I like that Ari Shaffir does that. I like that he's bringing that other show back to YMH. I like that element of it, and I think that's gone. Like a lot of that had kind of faded out.
Sure.
But I think, yeah, I think a lot of great comedy is more hidden now than ever because it's kind of, it's being pushed down by the people that it's kind of how the industry's always been in a way. There's the people that they're going to say, let's give everything to these few people, and everybody else is kind of just shoved down. Mm-hmm. And once you get that green light, and I'm lucky enough to be part of that group, but at the same time, and I don't think you're full of shit. I think you have to like what you like, and if it's not something that's your personal cup of tea, it's not your cup of tea, man. I mean, you like metal, not everybody does.
Sure.
I like, I like rap, I like metal, I like a little bit of everything. And with comedy, I'm the same way. I grew up loving Eddie Murphy and George Carlin and Richard Pryor and David Spade and Adam Sandler. And it's like, Joan Rivers. Like, you can't, there's so many different ways to do it that I appreciate. It's hard to tell, but there are a lot of I just think it's way, way too oversaturated right now. That the idea of so many of these comics playing venues that are so massive, and I've been lucky enough to do some of them,
sure,
with them, but it is kind of wild that something that is an intimate art form is being done in front of 20,000 people.
Right. This may be a awful question to ask, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Do you think that because of the need just for bodies in the room, that it doesn't get, it doesn't weed itself out anymore? Because, more, and again, this is coming from a fan standpoint, more and more when I go to comedy shows, I'm seeing two really bad comedians in front of the main comedian. And it never used to be like that before. For most of my life, it's always been go to see so-and-so and discover somebody else. And it doesn't feel like that these days.
It depends. It sucks to say, like, if I bring a comic with me, they're going to be good. I think that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
By anybody you've seen with me. If the club books their own comic or the venue, I never know what they're going to do. So a lot of people will go like, oh, your opener. And I'm like, I have nothing to do with that. That's who was here when I showed up. And sometimes I'm very pleasantly surprised and they're incredible. But there is that element where I do think comics do need to help out other comics. I always have in my career. I've always tried to bring up people that I think are good. I've been mistaken at times, but for the most part, I've brought up, some pretty good people. Matt McClary being one of them, who's just a beast, and Derek Richards, who I've brought on the road. Good comics, and I know they're going to do a good job, and they're not easy to follow. And that's the problem is a lot of comics want to use ringers, and you bring somebody who's kind of mediocre and then you can go up and do your thing. Mm-hmm. And I think that sucks for the audience. And I think there's a lot of stuff being played into it now. I don't know. I think it's tough to say. I know I don't, it's tough to say where it's at because I think there's a lot of things where I just have to focus on my own lane or I will get frustrated.
Sure.
But I do get bothered by, I can't get angry at a club for booking a TikTok act on a Thursday. It makes sense. You're trying to run a business. You need asses and seats. I totally get that. But do I mind that somebody named like Balloon Boy is doing Yeah, I do. I do hate the fact that any celebrity that has a fall from grace is like, I can just do stand-up because it's not a real thing. Like, I think it sucks that it's just this like fallback job for so many people. And then it goes against people who treat it as a real art form to actually become something. Right. But also with comedy, if being the funniest had anything to do with being the most successful, it's not the business I've been in for the last 20 years.
Right. No, I agree with you there.
So I mean, that's the same with music. I mean, some of the best musicians I know, nobody have, and I'm willing to bet will ever hear of.
Sure. Yeah. Well, yeah, music, it's definitely like that. Every time anybody's like, who's your favorite band? And they're looking for Metallica or Pantera from me. And then I tell them, I don't know, Seven Dust or something. And they'll be like, oh, I've only heard 2 songs.
Well, yeah, we're all held hostage by algorithms. It's whatever wants to push you out at the time. It's like Matt Rife. People can crap on him, but he did blow up on TikTok. Then he said, "Why are you guys not pushing me?" And they said, "Well, we're not pushing stand-up clips anymore." So he deleted his TikTok. But he was selected by TikTok. They pushed it out. Then they stopped. But I mean, he got lucky. He hit the right algorithm. And I think that sucks that we're living in a time where a computer is going to decide how many people get to see you, and that will decide how many fans you have. And I mean, that's why we're seeing so many people succeed in ways that nobody ever has in comedy compared to others. You know, it's just not a level playing field, because it really has nothing to do with the consumers. It's just it's repetition being forced in your face. And that goes back to being on the same show, or like what you were saying. It's just this constant repetition, and people go, well, that's what I like then.
Right on. So let's swing it back, and we'll start to wrap it up here. Swing it back to Stu and Dave Do America.
Yay.
It's on every night, right? Every 4 or 5 nights.
No, Monday through Thursday.
Monday through Thursday,
I
4
hope.
nights. I think I miss it on Mondays because I check out Florentine's podcast on Mondays, and then I catch up on my 2 comedians that I text back and forth with. They're both funny, which is great. You know, it's so much better than if I had like 2 local yokels that are at the Chuckle Hut every night. You know,
yeah, man, Jim's awesome.
Yeah, Jim's great. He's fun. But for you, I mean, I know you well enough to know that you know politics, but you're not sitting around when you're not telling jokes or stories or whatnot going, oh yeah, I can't believe what that fucking Trump did or Biden or what, you know, you're not politically motivated. You're politically knowledgeable to use it for your craft. Do you think we're in a good political climate right now that it opens the door for a show like Stu and Dave to succeed? Because Trump has kicked the door wide open, and at least until he leaves office, you can say whatever you want and without a whole lot of cancel culture or repercussions.
Yeah, I think we are. I think we are, because there's finally a side of the right that is going to criticize Trump. And I think people were afraid to for a long time. And I think people were sort of like, obviously the left's going to criticize Trump. It's all they've been doing for the last, God knows, like, it's exhausting at this point. But the right had sort of this blind allegiance to him, and not all of the right, just the very vocal right. And now that he's kind of going like, well, we're going to go into Iran and we're going to not put out the Epstein list. I'm not going to make any arrests, including Ilhan Omar. It's time to kind of be honest about things and realize that everybody who's elite and above us is messed up. And for whatever crap I've gotten, which is a lot for supposedly being on the right, my opinion's always been the same, where, look, my family was screwed over by the government. I have no allegiance to any of these people.
Sure.
I think they are all garbage. And there's a few that have surprised me recently in Congress. But I mean, I think Spencer Pratt from the Hills is one of the best candidates I've seen.
Yeah, I love his little AI spots.
Dude, they're great. And people can pretend they don't like it, but really, what's he standing against? He's anti-homeless in the sense, if he wants people to be taken care of, he wants things to be rebuilt. He wants your government to be honest, rebuild housing. Like, everything is technically what you would want to see, but human beings will always want to fight. And whatever this elite thing is, they're always going to throw the pig in the well and watch the mice fight. And the more and more we're aware of it, and the more we go against that and not against each other, I think it's important. And I hope that our show can discuss that, because, yeah, being political or being all on one side to me has got to be the dumbest thing ever, because none of them actually care about you.
Well, and you mentioned it. I get it a ton too. My partner Neely, that I do classic metal show with, he's like, we literally have a bumper that says he's the driver of the Trump train. It's Neely. It's like he's that kind of a hardcore Trumpian guy. And me, look, I'm pro guns and pro baby killing. Whatever that makes me, that's what I am. I don't care about abortion. I don't care about guns. I got one right here. I mean, that's right. I'm not political guy, and yet I get hit all the time, riding Trump's nuts and this and that. I'm sure you get hit with the same thing just because of who you've done shows with in the past, as well as, being on Blaze is another thing. And it sucks because it's such an unfair representation and you can't fight it. If you go online and you fight it, then they just bring up one little quote that you said and you're fucked.
Yeah, you say so much that stuff can be taken out of context, and or even you meant it and they want it to mean a certain thing that it didn't. But I mean, when I first got on Anthony and Artie, that was when I first want to say I got canceled, when I started getting treated differently. Then when I got on Crowder, I made a comment about a Hennessy tree, which had to do with an old Hennessy ad in my grandma's basement.
Right.
And it was a guy sitting under a tree, and I didn't know if Hennessy came from trees or whatever. But I made some offhanded comment that somehow ended up on that Media Matters thing where I was then dubbed racist. And I had friends, like people that had opened for me, attack me. And people text me saying it was racist and all this when I was referring to an old ad.
Right.
And after that, I got to see people's true colors because it was so many people that decided to come out against me for saying really nothing. And that was a hard lesson to learn. But now 6 years later, I just don't care. I mean, I've just had to learn that trying to argue with somebody who's dedicated to misunderstanding you, that's the way Michael Malice put it, is pointless. And that's the best way I've put it. I don't want to argue with people that want to misunderstand me. There's no point to it. And every now and then I'll get canceled, or they'll try to. They'll cut some clip from Gutfeld, say I meant something else, or cut something from Stu and Dave, throw it up on some website. AstroTurf hate. I'll get death threats for 24 hours, then it stops.
Right.
And that's just part of it. And it sucks. I mean, but part of anything now that's in the public eye, people are more vile than I've ever seen. If you go to any page, any post, anything, they want to be mean before they want to be anything else. They want to be cruel. They want to attack. And that's what we live in now. And unfortunately, I think that is a part of the internet. I think that is a part of the dopamine burst that this is. That's a part of the entire country being lost and angry. It sucks. I think we are in a terrible position, honestly.
I agree.
Mentally.
Well, and I say this all the time. The biggest part of it is that nobody's afraid of getting punched in the mouth.
It's true.
Back in the old days, look, I am a big shit talking guy, and Lord knows I've had a couple. Here's my 2 teeth that I got punched right out of my face. I mean, I know sometimes you run your mouth and you get punched in the face in the old days. Now nobody's afraid of it. Now it's like, well, I'll say it on my keyboard and nobody can make me deal with what I said. It just, I hate to say we need beatings again, but we kind of do.
Well, some people need it. And the part that I look at that too is a lot of those people, if you're hiding behind an avatar and saying stuff, I wouldn't let you pick. Like, I have a company that I pay to pick up my dog shit out of my yard. I know that might sound like too much, but I travel a lot. So whatever. I realized that that person I wouldn't deem fit enough to pick up shit out of my yard. Right. So why would I care what their opinion was of anything that I do? And that's kind of where I just take solace in, where it's like, I don't respect you enough in any way whatsoever, in any capacity. So to me, it's like, if you get attacked for so, it doesn't matter anymore. It's like putting it's like ashing on a burn victim. It just, you don't feel it after a while.
Are you making fun of me, man?
Oh yeah, that's right. You are a burn victim. It's like ashing on you.
I'm kidding.
I forget because you hide it well.
Yeah, not really. You just see the arms. You can see.
Right.
It's all tore up. But I don't care. That's the difference.
But you know what? That's the difference. Is you know how to take a joke. But but for real though. I mean, you eventually build a callus, and you just got to keep going.
No, I agree, man. Well, dude, let's wrap this up by doing the plugs, because if nothing else, it plugs the greatest website that's ever been built, davelandau.com.
I'd say top two.
Right there. What's number one? Pornhub?
What's that? Yes, that one. No, whatever yours is.
Oh. No, believe me, mine are just throw-togethers. But
are they? Oh.
Yeah. I put effort into yours, not mine.
Yeah, I avoid the Pornhub.
Oh, not me.
Good for you. I used to not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm holier than thou. I just don't I don't care anymore. Dude,
I watch so much porn that literally when it brings up 30 cubes, I'm like, all right, seen that one, seen that one, seen that one, seen that one. I'm like, looking, instead of just looking for something hot now, it's like looking for something I have not witnessed.
It's like walking through the adventure section of Blockbuster in the 90s. You're like, I've rented all of this.
Exactly right. Yeah, you wandered into those sections that had movies from the 60s or something because you'd seen everything on the current wall.
Yeah, you're looking for something with John Wayne, or in this case, fucking whoever is dead in it.
Yeah, exactly. John Holmes. Nice. Well, why don't you give the plugs, man, both for Stu and Dave and Blaze TV and you and comedy and all that stuff?
Yes, check out Stu and Dave Do America. Not Debbie Does America or Dallas, but yes, Stu and Dave Do America. You can check that out on YouTube as well as the Blaze. You can subscribe with the code Stu and Dave, which will get you a nice discount. Try to put in Stu and Dave 45 and see if that still works. And then also davelandau.com, tour dates all over the country.
Very good. Well, Dave, it's always fun catching up, man. Good luck with the show. I as you know, I watch it every night, and
yes, you do.
I very much enjoy it. I know I got to be annoying you because I watch it real late. I'm texting you at like midnight or 1 o'clock in the morning, just throwing one-liners at you. I'm like, oh, yeah.
You're fine.
You know, I hate to, and then I look up because I ain't gonna lie, most of the time it's because I got a gummy in me as well to try and nod off the sleep, and I'm like, oh, I'm fucking texting at 1:30 in the morning. What am I doing? I'm becoming a girlfriend.
It's fine. I'm very lonely.
Nice.
It all works out.
Well, one more time, everybody. It is Dave Landau, Stu and Dave Do America on the Blaze, on YouTube, and davelandau.com for comedy dates. And buy the book as well. We didn't mention it, but you should absolutely buy Dave's book. It's fucking hilarious. So,
Party of One, a fuzzy memoir. You can check it out on Amazon. You can also go to Audible, and you can get it at davelandau.com as well.
Very good. Well, one more time, it is davelandau.com. And Dave, this is always fun, man. Thanks for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.